Hey there guys, it's just a super quick video on essentially the YouTube tools that I use. I get these questions quite a lot. What should I use for this? What should I use for that? What's the best software for this and that? So today I'm just going to go over the things that I prefer to use and that I think are best, and exactly for each step of the process and what I recommend you to use if you are starting to create your own YouTube content for your agency, for your business, for your coaching, whatever it is that you do, right? And the first thing we want to start off with is research. And research is one thing that I know a lot of people that are new to YouTube, a lot of business owners, agency owners don't do a lot, simply because, right, it takes time, and then when it comes to YouTube thing, you just record and post and you're going to see results that way. But really and truly, you need to be able to have to do some research beforehand to see actual results on YouTube. And very simply, there's obviously YouTube that you want to use. So you want to go on YouTube and you want to essentially search what your competitors are doing. You want to search what other people in similar niches to you are doing, even people in complete opposite niches that are doing really well, to see exactly why they're doing well and how they perform. But essentially, the whole point of research on YouTube is to find what your competitors doing and find videos that are like outliers, which means that the views compared to amount of subscribers they have, there's a massive difference. So they've got loads of views on one videos compared to subscribers, and especially if to have loads of views on a specific video compared to other videos, that's a great example of our outlier. And your job is to essentially see exactly why that video has performed well and try to essentially make better, make your own better video than that. And then you want to use platforms like vidIQ, like TubeBuddy, to essentially go and search up these sort of phrases and keywords and see what's being searched highly on YouTube. I prefer to use vidIQ a lot more. I've never really used TubeBuddy, but I think vidIQ is perfect. It's good. It does what you need to do. So you search terms on there. It comes up with a certain amount of the search volume that it has and the competition that it has. So you ideally want something that's a higher search volume and on the lower side of the competition, so you can create content around that, as there's actual people searching it and there's not many people actually making content on it. And this is as simple as it sounds. This takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of time to do this research to make sure you can find content, winning ideas that are going to perform well on YouTube and also attract your ideal clients, right? So incredibly important to do enough research when it does come to YouTube, right? The next thing I want to move on to is to scripting, right? And listen, I have here Claude and ChatGPT, which is obviously two of the most sort of popular systems. And when I put here scripting, I don't mean you go in here, you ask them to write you a script, and you write that and you read that word script for your YouTube channel. We use, obviously, we're not going to sit and lie and say we write this all out of hand. We use Claude and ChatGPT in a few ways. First of all, we have many templates that we use on previous scripts that have worked well before. And we give essentially, we can use it for idea generation as well. So you can use these for a few other things rather than scripting. But yeah, idea generation is good to get you some ideas running if you are feeling stuck on ideas for your specific YouTube channel. And then you want to use it to essentially help you in terms of starting to write the script, right? Rather than starting on a complete blank page with nothing on there, we kind of use Claude and ChatGPT to help us with the structure, to give it some proof of hooks that worked before. We give them as much information as we can about whoever we're writing the script for. So any case study to have any results, they have exactly what they do, exactly who they serve. We give as much information as possible, and it kind of goes away based on idea, based on who we're targeting for a specific video. It gives us a bunch of feedback on that. We think that this is going to work best. We think that this intro is going to work best, and then it essentially just gives us a head start on writing the script. But it's incredibly important that you write it in your own tone, in your own words, in your own way, and just use essentially Claude and ChatGPT, any AI, to just enhance that, essentially speeding up the process at the start, so you have a structure, so you have a bit more of an idea of where to start, what sort of hook to go to, what sort of results and case studies to use in the hook, where to talk about what in the video, what exactly everything that you should be mentioning, etc. Right? So it just really helps in speeding up the time of writing a script. But 110%, do not just ask one of these to write you a script and then just go off that script. It's not going to be good. You're going to sound like a robot, and it's just not going to work, right? It does not work. You're so much better writing it off yourself. But essentially just use these to help you enhance that. We also use this to help us write with descriptions. Descriptions are quite simple to make when you know them properly, right? You have your main keyword, your main phrase, you write a description around that. But we again use this to just help us speed up that process a little bit. But again, I do not recommend you to use this completely I will never ever do that 100% to write the script, but use it to help you essentially save that initial time of starting. Instead of you have a blank page, you've got a bunch of ideas and feedback from one of these two. We prefer Claude. I prefer using Claude a lot more. I think it's when it comes to this specific sort of script writing and stuff like that than ChatGPT. But anyways, moving on to recording, which is a big one that we get asked. In my opinion, OBS is the best way to record, right? You record yourself, you record your screen, you can input exactly what cameras you want to use, what microphones you want to use, etc. And it's all very simple. You can have different stages and stuff like that. So if there's one that's just you full screen, or if you want to have you on the bottom left, and then you whatever, OBS is extremely simple to use. It's free to use, and I would recommend it more than anything else if I was to go to one. Loom is really good. I'm using Loom right now. It's very simple. You press record, it records the screen, it records through your camera, and it's that simple. Teller is very, very similar to Loom, and it's basically the same thing. I'm just used to using Loom, and I've used Loom a lot, but Teller has some really, really nice, fancy sort of looking screens, and then how you can look, it looks cool, I think. But I don't know, I just prefer Loom, and OBS is what I use about 80% of the time when I'm actually sitting and recording a video, rather than when I'm kind of doing something quick like this. But yes, OBS Studio, if you don't use it, highly recommend it. It's super, super easy once you get into it. And then that's that. Now when it comes to post record, right, there's Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro. There's obviously other ones, you know, CapCut, DaVinci, the Apple one, whatever it is. But Premiere Pro is what I've always used, and I just find it extremely, extremely simple. And then in terms of thumbnails, you have Canva, which is you know, not the greatest, or Photoshop, which I think is easy to use. But Canva you can use as well. I know ChatGPT is getting to the point we can actually start using ChatGPT for it. We're testing it out, see the sort of results we can be getting. But editing, Pro, and then for thumbnails, Photoshop. And listen, I would actually recommend, if you are a business agency owner or a coach, and you know you're making a decent amount of money a month, do not waste your time on this part here, right? You've done your research and recording. Don't waste your time trying to edit it. Don't waste your time, even if it's just cutting stuff out. Just give it off to an editor. Right, there's multiple ways to find editors, and trust me, you're going to save yourself a whole bunch of time, so much time, because this actually can take, even if it's just the simple stuff, it can take a lot of time. And you do want this, right? You do want a nice clean thumbnail. You do want, you know, nicely edited cut up videos, so there's no mistakes, you don't ramble on for too long, and it's nice and condensed. So I would highly actually recommend you to do this, but don't do it yourself. If you're going to do it yourself, I recommend these ones, but this is the sort of things that you should really, really be hiring out for, simply because it just takes a lot of time. And if you are, I mean, you have you know, essentially a really good business and you're already doing extremely well, I would recommend you to outsource essentially all of this. Obviously you have to record yourself, so you do the recording, but essentially this can all be outsourced to, you know, you can do individual freelancers, you can do an agency, and you know, that's essentially what we are. We kind of cover this whole process, we cover this for you, and we even post the video for you. All we require you to do is essentially record the video, and you're saving yourself a whole bunch of time. If you are interested to hear about more what we do, how we can help you, the sort of results we can get you through YouTube, and how we can essentially save you a whole bunch of time when it comes to YouTube, then do just check that link in the description. You can book in a call with me, and you can feel free to ask me any questions you have. It's not some sort of crazy sales pitch. You cannot literally just sit there, ask me as many questions as you want regarding what we do, how we can help you, and if it's something that works for you, and if we decide we're a good fit together, then we'll move forward. If not, then you know, we'll give you as much advice as possible and move on from there. You can also just check out my website to see if you want to get a bit more information on what we do, see some examples of our work, etc. But anyways, guys, this is essentially all you need to actually create content on YouTube. As simple as it sounds, it obviously takes a lot more work than this, but listen, it's just a bit of research, do your scripting, do your recording, and then post-record, which is the editing, the thumbnails, etc., and then obviously actually posting the video, analyzing the video, but that's all again done through just the YouTube stuff. But essentially this is all you need. It's super easy. It's not super easy, but the actual process of doing everything is super easy. It takes a lot of time. And again, if you want, you know, to get the best results from YouTube, have the best possible quality of content for you, your business, and get the possible results in the quickest amount of time possible, then check the link in the description, and I'll speak to you there. Take care, guys. Have a good one. I appreciate you guys for watching. Bye bye.